Are you a power tool user? Are you a power tool user? But all you have is that? What even is that? 24 watt hours. Pitiful. Suppose you could swing for the bigger one. Big ol' 72 watt hours or 4 amp hours. What's that? Amp hour and a half? Get out of here. Now you could buy a 6 amp hour one of these, which those are $179 on sale right now, I think. Or you can spring for the 8 amp hour, or even better, the 12 amp hour. But those are $239 right now. $199 on sale, I think. But get out of here. But what if you could build your own? Look at that. All you need is a bunch of these 18650 cells and a kit. Let's put it together, shall we? Stuff you're gonna need: T9 Torx, Phillips head, something to cut and strip wire with, soldering iron, little spot welder, and optional magic hands. Also optional, clean workstation. Positive, important. Start populating this guy. Positive terminal go that way. 2. Meow. The next row go in the reverse direction, and then back to the other direction, and then reverse. So you're going to alternate positive, negative all the way across. Nothing's labeled, so you kind of got to figure everything out as you go. These four Phillips head, it's the medium sized of them, I suppose, go in those 4 holes. Not included with the kit is a couple of short pieces of wire. You only need about 4 inches. Cut mine a little on the long side so I can trim it later. This little guy goes up in there, so we need to figure out which one's positive and which one's negative. On top of the bit that goes up into the Ryobi tool is the polarity. It is marked positive and negative. I'll do the positive one first. Now pay attention to which way you orient this when you solder it up. The wire needs to come off this way. That way. See that? That way. And I'm just going to stick it down in that little valley there. That's the solder connection done for the positive terminal. Going to do the exact same thing for the negative side. What are you doing, kitty? Meow. This little guy goes like that. So I'm going to take our... Just run the wire through the little hole in the terminal end and solder it on. So this guy can clip together. That little notch there matches up with that little notch. It's got some cable management in there. You can run that down there if you want. I don't know if it's actually necessary. It doesn't have to hold together perfect just yet. Make sure you got your polarity right. I'm using purple for positive. The kit comes with 3 of these little guys. They're not all the same. These two, I don't know what these are for, but they go right here. There's a little slot in there. They just kind of pop right in there. I don't know what they're for. I'm not going to use them. I'm just putting them there because there's a hole there where they go, and I don't want it open. This little guy, there's the third one. A little notch in there, a little notch in there. That's just gonna do that. It's got two little holes there, off center, and a slot for your contact. And just solder that guy on. Now for the fun bit. That's gonna come around there. There's two slots there, two standoffs there. That goes there. There's 3 pads we need to know about. There's a P+, which happen to be 2 of them, don't know why. P negative, pack positive, pack negative, and T1. Don't know what T1 is, but it goes to this guy here. So I'm just gonna cram this down in that hole. Let's solder these guys on. All those connections are pretty good. That's your little push button for your indicator. There's your little indicator pass through. This goes that way, and then it sits in here. Should make a nice satisfying click. And you got a couple little bitty screws that hold him on. These are all Phillips so far. Just like that. Make note, positive. This gets a single tab. Foot pedal actuated spot welder thing. Alright, now we got this little guy. Always makes me nervous messing with these. I made at least 4 spot welds per connection and up to 6, depending on how I felt about it. To keep yourself organized, it's positive, or doing this number on them. There's little slots for these things to slide into. It's kind of hard to put this thing together wrong, but you know what they say, build a better idiot. It's one side done. Positive side, it should look like this. I'll flip him over. This guy gets one of these. It'll let you know in a hurry if you get it wrong, because sparks will go everywhere. Another one of these little guys. Last one. This is your negative. It's a little pack done. Just make sure all the connections are good. Optional. We're good. Now this guy here, go on this guy here, and all these little tabs here stick through these little slots here. This can be fiddly. It only goes on one way, so there's a shelf here for this heat sink. Get those guys to sit on. This is a faff and a fuss to get on and get it all lined up. Be patient, you'll get there. There's 4 little screw holes, also Phillips. The screw holes for mounting this are the ones without the vias. If it's got a via, don't put a screw through it, because ain't nothing on the other side. I had to solder these guys down. Each spot where those tabs come through the board, I'm going to solder those for a good connection. Look, you're not here to learn soldering technique, right? I know I don't know what I'm doing, but my joints hold and they conduct, a bit like my welding. And just like my welding, it looks as they say. Ray Charles did it with his feet. One last voltage check, seal it up. Okay, we're good. These are your buttons for the release. Put those in there. And this guy here should just drop right on down in place. These are your springs for your buttons, and those little nubs go for those holes. These are the little clips. These go in with some force, and there's a trick. Give it some force, and if you actuate your little clippy release, it pops right in there. Same on the other side. Oops, you don't want that. Clippy release thing, a little bit of force. Actuate the button, she goes right in. This guy here just stabs right into place. One last Phillips. Switch over to the T9 Torx. There we go. One last check, because I'm paranoid. There we go. Charge him up and use him. Now that took 58 minutes. Now that took 48 minutes start to finish to build this guy. Not too bad.